All right. Yes, yes, yes. One more time. Welcome. Good evening, everyone, to our first Boys to Kings Parents Forum. How has been your week? How has been the last week? Okay, yes, start of a new week, I guess. Yes, how was last week? How is family? How is everyone? Work and everything, whatever it is you're doing. And hope you are not one of the people affected by the you said um, temporary shutdown. So development spaces have been impacted massively in the last couple of days. It's going to be unprecedented, but I guess we'll be fine. So glad you can join us tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I like to quickly, I don't know if people, I think it's proper, it's okay if people want to just introduce themselves, tell us how many boys you have in the program. Yep, if that's possible, you could just tell us your location, your city, where you're joining us from, and how many boys you have on the program. That's okay. So let's go ahead and do our introductions. You're welcome. Who wants to go first?
Hello, everyone. I've got a son with your academy, I would say. Let's call it that. I say Edinburgh, Scotland, UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Beatty here. I have a son, and we live in Maryland, the US.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Opera. I have two boys, Chinemerem and Jidena. We're in the UK. It's nice to be on this call.
Thank you. I guess a few more people will introduce themselves at some point, but that's okay. So without wasting much time.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
All right, good evening, sir.
Yes, I am JJ Jerome. I'm here in Nigeria, Abuja precisely.
Perfect.
I'm the father of Jaden.
All right.
Jerome. Thank you.
All right, Jaden was very active yesterday, telling us about his YouTube page or so. All right. Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yes. Good evening.
I'm Chima Delogora. I'm Pascal's mom. I'm based in Abuja here as well.
Okay. Sorry. You say you're whose mom?
Pascal.
Pascal. Okay. All right.
The youngest. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I have a bunch of kids, so I'm trying to get their names. I have another few months, so by the end of the program, I should be able to call every boy's name. That's a personal challenge I'm giving to myself. All right, thank you. I guess more parents will join us at some point. So let me quickly share my screen. Like I said, I'm recording this so that those who are unable to join us will be able to listen at some point. And for those who miss our orientation, well, thank you for trusting us by registering your boys to participate in this program. Second edition, last year we started with about 60 boys from about seven or eight countries, majorly Nigeria, but we had UK, US, Rwanda, Ghana, DRC, Congo, and different places. About 60 boys, yes. I think 40 something of them completed the program. This year we have 51 boys so far have signed up. So we're glad that you can trust us with your boys. It's a big deal. It's actually a privilege. So I don't take this for granted. And from last year's experience, we decided to introduce the Parents Forum. We're learning. So as we do this, it's to keep evolving as we learn. Yes, so this year we're introducing the Parents Forum so that we can interact as parents, get feedback, and also plan together to maximize this program. Most of last year, it was just me and the boys having fun for 90 days. But this year, we're bringing in a few things. One of them is a Parents Forum. And so today we're having our interaction to basically just set things going. So not to bore you, but basically the Boys to Kings mentoring program is a program designed to shape the next generation of responsible men. And we say if you're keen on raising noble and responsible boys, then we're here to help you, to complement your efforts as parents. We're not taking the role of parents, but we want to complement what amazing work parents are doing. Why did we start this program? Boys are struggling to navigate boyhood. It's actually more worrisome than people know. By the reason of the work I have done, so I've worked with young people for a good part of my life, and even today, I run a school for poor children in a community called Kuje. I'm steadily dealing with, although this is a different kind of kids, children who can't go to school. So my wife and I were running the school for them. They pay 100 naira a day to come to school to get education. But again, I interact with these boys, and I'm like, whoa, boys are dealing with all kinds of stuff. Then in church, I coordinate the teens church. Now my church permit me to use the word, is a bit elitist. So I'm dealing with boys in Kuje community from the poorest of the poor. Then I get to church, I'm dealing with boys, from middle and high income families, boys who go to the US, France for holiday, and all of that. And then when we have conversations technically about the same things, grappling with quite a lot. So, and I'm steadily mentoring one boy or the other. I'm telling you, one parent or the other is calling me to do this with their boys. Some even send their boys during the holidays to come and work in my office as interns and then give me money to pay their sons and all of that. So I've done this for years. So I just say, you know what? Can we just start something that is systemic so that I can just channel my energy to a group of boys and then provide as much guidance to complement what we're doing as parents. And parents also appreciate and know that they need this kind of support. And that's what we're doing, the Boys to Kings mentoring program. Our mission is simple. We want to help boys. We have 4 major pillars, right? Value set, decision-making, responsibility, and faith culture. Those are our 4 core pillars. Everything we do is around this 4 pillars. So it's either we're helping them improve their value set of personal identity, decision-making skills, sense of responsibility, faith culture. 4 key pillars. And we tested it last year, and the feedback was amazing. Majority of the parents confirmed based on a post-participation form we asked them to complete, confirmed that they could see that improvement in one of these areas. And our theory of change is simple. Our assumption is that boys who have more adult support and age-appropriate information, they will develop a lot better compared to boys that have limited adult support. So that's some kind of summary about the Boys to Kings mentoring program. I've already talked about our 4 pillars and our age grouping. We're working with 8 to 17. Last year, we worked with 8 to 19, 8 to 21. But we've decided to cut it down to 8 to 17. Again, like I said, it's a learning curve. We're making adjustments and all of that. So we have 3 age brackets, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, 14 to 17. If you look at that age bracket, you see that 8 to 10 are for kids still in primary school. Then 11 to 13, we're looking at those who are still in junior secondary school. And then 14 and above, senior secondary school, or possibly first year or so in the university. So that's how we've broken it. In terms of our sessions, we meet twice every month, and it's virtual West African time. Some sessions will be general. Everybody will be part of that. Some sessions will just break into 2 age groups. Some sessions will break into 3. When we're having conversations around puberty, body changes, sex education, of course, we will make sure that those age around 8 to 10 are in a different room, 11 to 13 are in a different room, because what they're dealing with are quite different and all of that. So that's how we've been running the program. And one more time, I want to say thanks for your support so far. For the parents who have joined us, this is usually our housekeeping. Every session we have this housekeeping. We're asking the kids to join us with your Bible, your jotter, your pen, water, use the bathroom first. We are usually on Zoom, put on your camera. usually for the boys, we ask them to put on the camera so that we're sure they are participating and all of that. So that's basically some housekeeping. And then the endpoints for active participation, the endpoints for submitting assignments early, there's endpoints for signing up early. Usually my first 5 participants get points and all of that. So those are some of the things that just try to make the program a lot more exciting for them. So I just thought to just give you a little bit of this overview for some people who may not have who didn't participate in our onboarding or who haven't really watched the onboarding video. So this just gives you a sense of that. And for those who may still be considering signing up for the program, this is basically it. So what's our talking points today? Basically understanding the program, and we're done with that first part, which is understanding the Boys to Kings mentoring program. We've done that part, and we're happy to take questions or comments. Let me see if there's any. If you want to drop something on the chat box at any time, feel free to do that. I've asked people to invite their friends who have not signed up for the program. So if you're here, you haven't signed up for the program too, feel free to ask questions. But we know your boy needs to be in this program. I can tell you that for a fact. So one of the things I want to talk about today is parental supervision.
Can I ask a question?
All right, so please go ahead. Yes.
I just wanted to confirm, is it every 2 weeks or every weekend? The session every Saturday for the boys?
All right, so it's usually every 2 weeks, right? So usually it's first and third weeks, right? So the first session was 1st of February. Second session is going to be 15th of February, right? And then the next session is going to be, I think, the first. Sometimes it doesn't really fall into first like that, but it's likely going to be the first week of March.
Because right? You mentioned that you had a session yesterday or so I thought there was one yesterday.
Yeah. So what happened? I introduced an activity, the crown activity, and I just felt I got 1 or 2 questions privately. So I thought, okay, if we're having 1 or 2 questions privately, needing more assistance. So I just started to have that optional session yesterday. It was just 30, 45 minutes to just answer questions, voice and all of that. And we're going to do that periodically. Some weekends we'll just say, hey guys, I have an hour, any boy who wants to join in and let's just talk about anything. So that's going to happen periodically. Sometimes it'll just be a video to say, watch a video, but our sessions are twice every month specifically.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. Right. So I was talking about parental supervision. So one of the things we observed from last year, we didn't get enough parental supervision. But we want to really commend the parents for their participation and supervision. But here's what we picked. If there is greater parental supervision, the participation of the boys will be a bit better. And so this year, starting from this immediately as early enough, we want to emphasize the importance of parental supervision. What do we want you to supervise? So participation, so signing up for the program, signing up early, making sure they have their jotter, their pen and all of that. Yes, for us, that's important for every boy who is participating to participate actively. And then during the sessions, make contribution. You want to, as parents, you should be able to ask, did you ask a question? Did you contribute? And all of that. Now, there's a psyche when the boys get a sense that parents will cycle back to them to ask them what happened in today's session. What did you learn? Can you explain to me? And all of that. So that parental supervision, and then even if they are alone in their rooms or alone by the dining, just coming in to check. And I see a couple of parents do that. They come in to check how is it going and all of that, right? In fact, some parents stay through the program, and I want to comment a couple of them. So for instance, Mr. Emeka Obidi has participated, and he even gave us a feedback, on participation. And if he wasn't physically participating and supervising, he may not have noticed what he noticed and giving us that, private feedback. Some kids were privately chatting and all of that, and that can be a distraction. So as much as is possible, we want to appeal to parents, because if you ascribe a lot of importance and seriousness to this, then they too will change their attitude to this. So check, just the way you check their homework and all of that. We are hoping that they have a special jotter for this program. So you want to check, tell them, I'm going to look through your jotter, I'm going to see what's going on. So that's one, that active participation. We need that from parents to participate. Make sure. So right now we're doing an activity called the Goal Getters activity and the crown activity. Some parents sent me video of their boys' crown. So I asked all the boys to make a crown. So this is my crown. So we did goal setting. So the whole of February, we're looking at goal setting. And then, so I asked them to make crowns, and I shared a video with you, a 3-minute video. They can learn how to make paper crown. And I told them each person's crown should have 8 palisades. That means 8 points like this. And each of that represent 8 weeks. And what I've asked the boys to do every week on Saturdays, review the goals you achieved, and based on the ones you achieved, give yourself like a mark, reward yourself with a star or something, right? So every session, the boys are going to come with their crowns to explain to us how they are doing in terms of goal setting. Because if you teach boys, especially younger ones, goal setting, and then they can't demonstrate it, they can't practicalize it, then they will forget the essence of it. So if they do this for the next 8 weeks, we will continue again for the remaining 12 weeks to end the semester. If they practice that for that period of time, for some of them it to stay with them. But now if they didn't do this and there isn't parent supervision, then we've lost that experience and what one instilled in them, goal setting. Many of us didn't develop goal setting at as young as we should have. So this is an opportunity for our kids to do that and for us to help them. And some of us may have talked to them about goal setting, right? But this is a great opportunity to practicalize it. So here's my crown. It was done for me by my my 11-year-old daughter, right? So so parents, after tonight, I want you to go and ask your kids, can I see your crown and all of that? And the crowns have to be in there. They should be able to wear their crowns and all of that. Now, if there isn't enough parental supervision, this activity will not happen. Then assignments, we want them to complete their assignments ASP. We currently have a Google platform where they can complete their forms, their assignments. So the assignments basically ask a bit of questions. The assignments usually have 3 sections, right? The first session is a bit more narrative, and then we have the Q&A. I mean, yes, we just take yes or no. Then we have the quiz part, where we want to grade and assess points. So we are assessing that at the back end. Last model, last session, we rewarded outstanding participants in terms of the quality of answering their questions and how responsive and how early they submitted their assignments. So as of today, we have, I think 32 or so assignments have been submitted out of 51 boys. So we have a handful of boys who may not have done their assignment. So we want to encourage parents to encourage our boys to do the assignments. We think that you should get them to do the assignment within the first 3 days, right? The memory is still there and all of that. So it means you have to make your devices available. One thing we are promising to do going forward is that date we do the session, the assignments will be out. We did that last year. We saw that it helped a lot. So that by that Saturday night, we'll make the sacrifice and load the assignments, and then so that they have Saturday, Sunday, you're at home, get them to do the assignments once they get into Monday, Tuesday, because pretty busy for you, we know. The first model we did, the assignment came out on Monday, but that is going to happen again. We'll make sure you get the assignments out pretty early to you. By that Saturday night or early morning, Sunday, you have the assignments so that you can work with them to complete the assignments. And please, we always request that do not aid the boys in doing the assignments. Do not tell them the answers. Do not influence that. Why? We do that's an assessment and feedback. So if we teach them stuff and they don't understand it, then you tell them the right answers, then it will not be an accurate assessment. We want to know if they don't understand. So if they don't understand, if a certain percentage don't understand, then we need to reteach that. And some of the kids, if they don't understand, we are willing to call them, spend a bit of more time to explain again and again. Because for us, comprehension, understanding and applying is far important for us than completing the program and getting a certificate. So please make sure they do the assignments themselves from their notes. They can look at their notes, they can watch the replay over and over and do the assignments. If they understand the concepts we're sharing, then we'll have made huge progress. Someone dropped a chat, let me see. Someone asked a question. All right, so someone is asking, Mr. Joshua was asking what days are our sessions. So our sessions are Saturdays, 2 Saturdays every month. So it's like every other week. So if we had a session this Saturday, we will not have a session to the next Saturday. So let me go back to that slide. So if you look at the slide on the screen, so you will notice the timing is an average of 90 minutes. Sessions are an average of 90 minutes, right? And it's Saturdays. 3 p.m. first session is always 3 p.m. Second session is always 5 p.m. And the last session is always 7 p.m. Right? So that's basically, we give that window of 30 minutes. Sometimes in sessions could be a bit too interactive and all of that, right? But so they just that 30 minutes window. So basically that's the idea. So it's an average of 90 minutes per session, sometimes 1 hour, 45 minutes. I hope that answers the question. So usually Saturday, so the first session was February 1st, second one, February 15th. By February 15th, we'll tell them the next date of the next session. So even if a month has 5 weeks, we will still stick to our 2 sessions for the week, for the month, and we can decide to just do something else within that month. Again, we are conscious of parents' timing, commitment. We're also conscious of the students, the boys' academics and all of that. So we don't want to overwhelm them. So yeah, there are other ways we can stay connected with the boys beyond meeting too frequently. Yep. So, and by the way, feel free to just stop me at any point to ask questions, right? So, so I've talked about completing assignments. Then there's something we did last year. We're going to do it again. It's a standard part of our program. Small solutions, small problem, small solutions. All right. Mr. Emeka said, to confirm, is the assignment contained in the Google Doc link where they had to select their names? How did they know if they have not completed or submitted it? I allowed Judah to do it on his own, but there is some way we can confirm they submitted it correctly. All right. Thank you for that question. Yes. So that assignment is a Google link where the names of the kids have already been keyed in. So depending on their age bracket, when they click on their age bracket, they will get there, they will see their names and then click their name and answer the questions. Yeah, so I'm going to work with my assistant. We did that last year, but we're going to introduce that again. We will usually share the names of kids who have done their assignments, and then parents can see. So we're going to start that again to say, these are the kids that have done assignments for this age bracket, for this age bracket, for this age bracket, and parents can know. And then you can do a little bit of follow-up to make sure they've done their assignments and all of that. In terms of assessing whether they answered questions correctly and all of that, we're working on something. We actually want to have an app. Work has started. We're trusting that before the end of this semester, the app will be ready for us to test. So on that app, every boy will have his own profile page. So on their profile page, they will do their assignments. You will see their score. So you can log in anytime, see, like normal school learning management platform, something like that. So you can log in, see the questions they answered correctly. You will see their scores, and then we can now have a leaders board to show who is leading according to age bracket in terms of performance and all of that. So, but we're working on that slowly. We're hoping that before the end of the semester, based on the commitment of our developer, we'll be able to get that ready. And once we get that ready, we'll test it and it starts, right? Yeah, so. All right, so Mr. Joshua has asked a very interesting question. All right, so that question, I'll answer it as I get into the father's involvement. I'll get into that part, right? So, but let me just talk about small problems, small solutions. One of the things we're teaching the kids, the boys in this program, is leadership, right? And leadership, a major element of leadership is solving problems. And so we want to start teaching the boys the sense of responsibility and solving small problems. If they can develop the skill of solving small problems, they are relatively not too different by the time they get to solve bigger problems, right? And so last year we introduced something called, small problem solutions challenge. And so we asked them to solve small problems in either their residence, the compound they live, the streets they live, or the school where they are, or their religious center. And we give them ideas. A door handle may be broken, the bathroom may not be clean enough, the street may be clogged somewhere, the drainage may be clogged somewhere. Do any activity, come up with an idea of something that you want to do, and then come up with a plan. So we give them a document and a template. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to open that conversation sometime in April. Right? So, but I just wanted to mention it in advance. And we encourage parents to support them and amplify. One of my biggest testimony was that last year, a 10-year-old boy decided to plant trees in his estate, and it was covered by a newspaper and all of that. And everyone was just blown away by that experience, right? And I said, for some of those kids, this can be portfolio, they can just archive, and it will be useful for them in future for scholarships and all of that. But what's important for me is to instill in boys the sense of solving problems, but start solving small problems. If you start solving small problems and you get used to it, then as life presents opportunity to solve bigger problems, they'll be able to do great things. So that is going to happen sometime in April, and we'll keep you posted. They will develop their problems, share with you. You will approve it, and then we have a template. We share that. We'll guide them on what a small problem is, how to identify a small problem. So we have a whole checklist, and it's a great skill for them, for the boys who did the program. Some bought dusters for their classroom. Some tried to deal with bullying in school. So it was amazing what the boys came up with. So we're going to do that again this year. Then hangouts. Last year, the boys wanted to meet with me. We couldn't make that happen. So, but this year is going to happen. I travel a bit. So as I get travel opportunities within and outside Nigeria, I will use that to explore meetings. But we are also looking at the possibility of just scheduling some hangouts, maybe Lagos, Abuja, maybe during this Easter holiday, something like that. I want to try something. We're still thinking about it. When we finish crystallizing it and we share with the parents, we will move forward with that. But that is going to start this year. Pick a Saturday or Sunday, go to somewhere, just hang out with the boys, have some games and all of that, just meet and connect. So we're going to do that this year. And I want to say we're also going to do that with fathers. We're going to also meet with fathers. Very important. Fathers are important. This year, fathers are important, and we're going to make sure that fathers are carried along. Now, fathers' involvement. Yep. So, the question of Mr. Joshua, father's involvement. Now, let me say that I understand that in this community, we may have single parents, and it could be, single fathers, and it could be single mothers. I understand. And we may even have a situation where parents live apart, but they are not separated just because of work. We may have the children living in another country and the father working on that country, and they visit once in a while. So there are those situations and all of that, and that's okay. But we just want to say, especially for where there isn't a separation, if it's just that they live apart because of work, or they live in the same cities, but they are so busy, we just want to encourage fathers to get more involved. And I'm going to explain why in the slides that is coming up now. I've been doing a bit of reading. I follow a couple of people, do a bit of reading, and we're going to do a little bit of reading also as fathers and parents, and I'm going to start sharing some resources. One of the most important, so let me read what this Professor David said in a popular university, working on the National Marriage Project and all of that. He said one of the most important aspects of a dad's contribution to the life of his kids lies in, lies precisely in what he says, which is significantly different parenting style. Men and women are different, and as a result, mothers and fathers parent their children differently. It should be obvious that as a man, you are in a position to exert specifically masculine influence upon your son. So basically, significantly different parenting style. For me, that's the emphasis. Fathers parent differently, mothers parent differently. And it's no brainer. We are different. Basically, men are different, women are different, right? And we bring that our difference to parenting. The next slide. He says, fathers are more than just second adults in the home. Fathers are more than just second adults in the home. They have a parenting style that is significantly different from that of a mother, and that difference is important in a healthy child's development. That difference is important, very, very important. And I'm going to try to demonstrate that in the next slide. And most fathers here will agree to me. Your first hero was your father. Growing up as a boy, I felt my father was the most powerful man on earth. I don't know whether people felt like that. I felt that no man can beat my daddy. I felt that my daddy can withstand anybody, can deal with even a military man, right? I just had that feeling, as a boy growing up. I just felt he was all powerful, right? And then my dad also was my first mentor. Most, whether it's positive or negative, is a first real big influence, father figure, right? And then there's an intrinsic psyche of authority and command that the father has. I'm telling you. In those days, growing up as a kid, right? We'll be there with our mom playing. She'll be saying, have you cleaned the parlor? Have you done this? Have you done? The moment I just hear the sound of my dad's car, there is a way we hear the sound. The moment we hear the sound, the man has not arrived at the house. We just had the sound of his car. Hey, we just become bionic. Speed, clean up, pop, 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 right? Funny enough, my mom did the beating more than my dad. But there was just something about his authority and his command. And it's everywhere. Even if the father doesn't talk, there's something there's that masculinity about the father, right? Then there's a biological connectedness. There's a likeness and sameness, right? I know my daddy, he's a man, I'm a man. It's just that I'm a smaller man, right? So there's a connection. There's a way I can relate. There's a way I feel my dad can relate with me compared to my mommy, no matter how close I am with my mommy. By the way, that's just for another day. It's interesting that boys are actually more closer to their mother, and for several reasons. If you have time, look for a book called When Men Think Private Thought. So I read a bit. When Men Think Private Thought by Mike G. Donald or McDonald G, one of those names. I read the book about 20 years ago. And I remember I bought about 7-8 copies of that book. I kept giving to different people, and I still don't have a copy. So when I get to the US, I'll look for that book, or if I can even find it again, I'll just order it. Or if you have a spare copy, please just send one to me, right? When Men Think Private Thought. But that's just an aside. There's a connection boys have to their mom they don't have with their dad, right? But there's a connectedness that's sameness, right? I look at my dad, his biceps. I look at my dad, his muscle. I look at my dad, he has his private organ and my private organ are the same, right? So, there's I don't want to say colleague, he's not my colleague, right? But that's powerful, Then so it means that there is a weight of importance that a father brings to what they consider important. So if a father gets involved in how the boys are participating in the Boys to Kings mentoring program, it changes that boy's participation compared to the mother, right? And then there's an innate desire for fathers, for a father's praise. There's something about a father's praise. I can't explain it, guys. I can't. Sorry. I'm saying, guys. I can't explain it, people. Because I know I have some elders here. I can't explain it to people, right? There's something about, my dad looking at me um with commendation. He may not even say anything, but it's just something about it. It's something I can't explain, right? So for fathers that their sons are going through the Boys to Kings mentoring program, even if you're not in the same city, if you make a note to say on that day, session is going on, I'm going to call a few minutes to the session and say, hey, is your pen, your jotter, Bible, everything, is it ready? After the session, I'm going to have a conversation with you to know what's going on. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for the boys. And then afterwards, you say, well, I'm proud of your participation. I'm proud of what you're doing. You're doing good. It's powerful. And then for us Christians, there's a divine mandate on fathers. For those who know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, God, when God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, he said, should I hide what I want to do from Abraham? And he said a couple of things, but one of the things he said is that because I know that Abraham is going to raise his children in a particular way. So it means that even in raising children, there is a divine mandate and responsibility on fathers. So what's worrisome again is how busy fathers can become in providing everything, but one of the most important things, which is presence. You see, presence you can't monetize presence, because there are things that happen in presence that no money, can equate for. Nobody can equate for. No mentor can equate for, right? So I'm saying all of this to say that fathers needs to get more involved in the Boys to Kings mentoring program. And so this slide was basically to just make that appeal, to say, hey, fathers, we know you're so busy. We know you're doing everything to provide economically and, pay all the bills and all of that, and be the man, take responsibility and all of that. But I'm telling you, a very vital part of that provision is your presence. And have you observed that you don't have more than 16, 18 years to influence your boys? Yes, the moment they get into university, they're gone. Even your girls. Once, and when you give birth to them, they're just, I have time. You'll be shocked. The next thing, they are 10 years old. The next thing, they are 12 years. The next thing, they are 14. Next thing, they are 16. And if they started school early and it was uninterrupted, most of them by 16 are ready to go to university or college. They are gone. I'm telling you, they are gone. And some fathers will start wishing, oh, I wish I just spent a little bit more time. You could have had greater influence. You could have had greater impact and all of that. So because, amen, work will never finish. I'm telling you, work will never finish. Project will never finish. The next big thing will never finish. There will always be the next big thing. I was reading a book. I can't remember the book now where I read that story. It's either John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, or Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. I can't remember. It's one of those books, right? But the story has it that this American CEO is in Fortune 500. So he's really big, earns hundreds of millions of dollars every year. And then, so one day in the morning, they were about going out, they've just had breakfast and all of that. And then his son was participating in something in school, either a sports or whatever, and there was going to be a presentation that day. And then the son had actually mentioned it earlier to say, Dad, I would like you to be present during my presentation and all of that. So he put it in his agenda and all of that, right? And that morning so during breakfast, he just told his son, oh, I'm sorry, something came up and all of that. I'm not going to be able to make it. And he thought his son was about 11 or 12. He thought his son was going to start crying and all of that. He just said, of course, I wasn't expecting you. So, and nothing happened to him right away. But as he got into the car driving, he just hit him. So my son is not expecting that I will be present today because I've always not been present. And then the ride to the office or so, according to that story, he spent a bit of time to think, to say, what has really been my relationship with my kid? Have I been there for him? Have I been present for him? They drive in, they fly in private jet, they go to be and all that. But have I been there for him? And then that day, he surprised his son. He cut short all his meeting, got to the office, cut short all his meeting, went to the program, and his son was not expecting to see him. So when the son saw him in the crowd, he said the energy, the expression of his son changed. I think he started crying on the seat. And then from that day, he made a decision: family and time over business. He changed his program. He would get home early, do assignments. And he said it was that the rest of the time he spent with his son before the boy became a teenager and left, he considered it the most valuable time of his life. And yet the business continued to grow and all of that. So that story is in one of John Maxwell's book. One of John Maxwell's book, I can't remember which one, or Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. So the point I'm making an appeal to fathers, right? To not just Boys to Kings mentoring program. Our sons need us more than we are available. Our sons need us more than we're available. Our son needs us more than our business. Our son needs us more than our adventures, political, economic, and all of that. Our sons need us. Okay, all right. I think I've emphasized that enough, right? So the Parents Forum, as I need to start, right? Parents Forum. So yeah, we've started the Parents Forum, and then we're going to plan a Fathers Hangout at some point. Yes, we're going to be having a Fathers Hangout through the year. I want to have time to meet with fathers, virtual and physical. We'll see what works. And then I'm going to start sharing useful resources, reading materials for us to read. I'm going to start sharing that, and we're going to start like a reading program in March. And don't panic. You're not going to read big books. I'll find small articles for you to send. But those of you who love reading, you're welcome to. Let me see, which book am I reading now? So let me just show you one of the books I'm reading now. This is my book for the month. I don't know if anybody knows this guy, Dr. James Dobson. He's a man I've followed for many years. He's big on family and all of that. So I'm reading this month. So I invest in that reading. And so I'll announce my reading for March. If any parents want to join, fine. But I'll find small materials and resources that I can just share to help, because we want to support parents. And then I'm happy to have one-on-one with parents also, fathers, mothers, about their boys and about raising them. I was a very active boy. My adult life and my boyhood, they don't resemble. There is no connection. People who knew me as a boy, if they see me today, will like, what happened to this guy? I was crazy as a teenager. I was crazy. I was active. Right? So I was a handful for my mom. And my dad traveled a lot. So 365 days of the year, my dad may just be around for 100 days. So, and that was on for years, right? So I was a handful for my mom, right? So for mothers who are single mothers or who their husband live apart and all of that, I'll be here for you to talk about your boys and have one-on-one with them from time to time. Any other support I can give. So one of the things I want to do also today is to invite, we'd like a few of you to volunteer as an advisory group. Some of the things we want to do, we'd like to share with a smaller group of parents to get some advice, get some counsel. We don't know everything. We're growing, we're learning, we're developing this program. So we need feedbacks, right? And most of you are professionals, widely exposed and all of that. So there are wisdom and skills and thoughts that you bring to bear on this. So if you would like to volunteer, just send me send a WhatsApp privately and just say you'd like to volunteer. So we're just going to create a WhatsApp group where we can now have more conversations. Some of the things, if some things come up, I'll drop it there to say, hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? And all of that. So that's basically what the Parents Forum ESCO is voluntary. And we understand we won't be overbearing in terms of timing and all of that, but please feel free to join. And I want to have people from different regions, and I want to have men and women in that group. Small group works for those who understand. All right, I need to quickly wrap up and then take questions. So there's an activity we're going to be doing sometime between March and June. It's called Father to Son. We are going to encourage every father in this program to do a father to son activity. Something you haven't done before with your son, but we're going to develop it a lot further. And if there is any father who wants to work with us on this, please, but the whole idea is just something with your boy, something you haven't done before. And what do you want to achieve? Deepen relationship, deepen trust, deepen influence. Let me share something shocking. I do this every year in church. Every year I do a survey with the teenagers. I have about 150 teenagers in the teens church. So every January I do a survey called Get to Know You. And we ask them several questions and all of that. One of the questions we usually ask, if you have an issue, who do you talk to? Right? Less than 10% say they talk to their parents. Less than 2% say they talk to their father. It's a big deal, though. I don't know if fathers understand what this is saying, because they are talking to somebody. They are talking to somebody. And if the person they are talking to doesn't have the right values, doesn't have the right information, then they are exposed. How do you build a relationship where your boys talk to you first? Irrespective of what it is, they talk to you first, because there's a relationship, there's trust, and there's influence. And so some fathers already have it, but we are willing to work to improve on it. So that's what we're going to be doing, the father to son activity. The fathers, you come up with the concept. It can be anything, and it can be anything outside what is here, right? Come up with something you want to do with your son, then you share with him, discuss it. You submit the idea. We want to document it. And then when you finish doing it, you will send us a report. So it's just going to be a Google form. Send us a report. What did you do? What was the experience? What changed? And all of that. It could be helpful to other things we can do with fathers and sons. All right. So the last part of the conversation, the Big Ideas Boys Exchange Program. So why do we want to do this? So this is something that is big, that I'm big on. I don't know if people have observed, the next generation seems to be caught on entertainment. The average young person wants to be a social media influencer, musician, dancer, sports personality, and all of that. And I've always said, Nigeria will be transformed by not just technocrats, but innovators and inventors. And in my sense, the best time to sow the seed of invention and innovation is in the mind of young people. I've been to maybe 30 countries of the world, from Seoul, Korea, to China, to Germany, to Belgium, to UK, US, Saudi, Dubai, different places. And I've traveled around Africa, from Rwanda to Uganda, to Zimbabwe, to Tanzania, to Ghana, several African countries and all of that. When I travel, I just see the disparity. I see the disparity in terms of how we're raising the next generation, what we're exposing them to, and all of that. So, and I've done, many years ago, I started something called Thinking School Africa, which I was hosting in Dubai. I was taking young people to Dubai to spend a week, and then brought speakers from, I'm a member of the World Economic Forum, so I bring some of my colleagues to come talk to them about innovation and all of that, to sow the seed of innovation so that we can raise that generation. So that's what I'm just bringing into the Boys to Kings mentoring program. So we want to sow the seed of adventure, of curiosity, innovation, big ideas boys exchange program. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. In one of visits, we're going to spend 5. So it's going to be, so if you looked at the form, it has 2 dimensions. We have the Nigerian tour, then we have the global tour, and we're giving people option. You want to just participate in the Nigerian tour, it's going to be Lagos. We're going to visit some innovative companies in Lagos. We'll be in Lagos for 2 days. So after the Lagos event, so we arrive Lagos on a Thursday, spend Thursday, Friday, then Saturday we're out to the country we've chosen to go to, spend 5 days, and we're back to Lagos. Those in Europe, if they want to come to Lagos and be a part of it, fine. But if they want to meet us in Europe, fine. Those in Nigeria, if what you can afford to just be part of the Nigerian program, not a problem. This is going to be an annual event. So if you don't participate in the big thing this year, you can participate next year. And our goal is to visit top-notch manufacturing companies, and then interact with CEOs, young people. I visited a school, a German school. What I saw in their secondary school, what I saw in their labs. I just said, how are we going to compete with these guys in the next 50 years? I'm not sure we're ready. What I saw in their labs. So this is my only two way of beginning to expose kids to that culture of sense of innovation and invention. So we're looking at the first week of Germany. I mean, first week of August, and we've chosen Germany. I have other options. My preference was Japan. Japan is one of the leading countries for intellectual property innovation everywhere. Switzerland has been topping innovation in the past 13 years and all of that. Germany is also big on innovation, manufacturing, and all of that. So I was plotting my networks and all of that. Then Denmark. So my plot for now is Germany. And then another young global leader of the World Economic Forum has connected us to a group in Denmark. And so the idea is that if we go to Germany, if we go to Hamburg, he said if we go to Hamburg, then we can as well come to somewhere in Denmark. So we've made connection with the company. It's a very, very big company, have about 40,000 staffs around the world, manufacturing and all of that. So their headquarters is in a community called in a city called Nordborg. So it's about 2 hours from Hamburg. 2.5 hours and all of that. So the idea is if we go to Germany, then we can go to Denmark. Just you have Schengen visa, we can go and all of that. So the whole idea, one trip, but we can do 2 countries. So that's what we're thinking. So this is still conversation going on, and we can make some adjustment. But they've already recommended that we should think of the second week of August, that the first week of August, there is some kind of holiday and all of that, and we may not get the best in terms of visiting companies and all of that. So we're happy to make that adjustment. It's going to be self-sponsored trips, and people have asked me, either of the parents can come and to go with the kids, and if you want to send the kids to just join us, fine, whichever works. Not a problem. We'll go through all the protocol procedure and all of that and be sure that we're fine. We won't have any issue in terms of this. So just for record, I've been doing exchange visits for maybe 12, 13 years to different parts of the world. I've done exchange visits to Dubai, to Ghana, to Tanzania, to Addis Ababa, African Union, to Senegal, a couple of places, for the past, I mean, something I do very often, but I've not done it the last, the last one was I took a government delegation to Rwanda and Germany, and Dubai. But in the last 4 or 5 years, I've been buried in a village called Kuje, running a local school. So I've shut down so many other things I do. So, all right. So just to say, traveling, and anyone who is, and that's why I want to have this small advisory group. So we, in terms of planning, making sure that everything goes well. Those of you who have also have great travel experience, logistics and all of that, we'll work with everybody to make sure it happens well. So let's get more African boys to think big ideas and innovation for the continent. AI, let's get our boys to start thinking AI and all of that, right? So, and please, if anyone have some plugs in Germany or Denmark that you also think, we just want to connect with as many big companies as possible to visit. So a day we can do a company or 2, that's okay. So we're not overwhelmed. We can discuss this a bit more of this chat, whatever recommendations, suggestions you have, please feel free to throw it in. We're willing to work with recommendations. I also think that in terms of visa, getting visa to Germany is not, I don't think it's as difficult as getting visa to US or UK or so. So, all right. For regular travelers, they won't have problem, but for first-time travelers, but again, let's see how this plays out. All right. Stop. Okay. All right. This is the time that I keep quiet. I want to thank, I have quite a number of people here who have joined us tonight. Thank you, all of you. I've stayed on listening to me, just talking and talking and talking. It's now that time that I'm open to questions, comments. Yes. Areas that you need clarification and all of that. The floor is now yours. Thank you for staying on until now. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Coach. May I ask if the proposed trip is for can it include preteens or is it just for teenagers only?
Right. So it's going to be primarily for the age bracket we work, 8 to 17.
Okay.
So if they are, we want to stick to the age that we work with, so that in terms of the assimilation and the experience, we can manage them. So yeah, that's the age we're working with, 8 to 17.
That's fine. I thought so, but the presentation said teenagers, so that was why I just wanted
Okay. Sorry,
to be
so
sure.
we're working with our age bracket. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Madam Chioma hand is up. Yeah.
Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
So nice to speak to you again,
Yeah.
coach, mentor.
Hey.
So my son is really enjoying himself, and prior to the session starting, I told him how I went through your own coaching as well when I started off my career in the governance section. Governance sector. Yeah. So my question will be on the goal setting. He spent a lot of time, he devoted time writing them down, in the 4 areas.
Yes.
And I told him, let me help you and put it in a table form so that it's easy for you to really see how you're progressing and all that.
Yes.
He agreed. So telling them how to do it, but it's also good to coach to see that he does it in a way that is very good. Now he's asking me if he's supposed to submit it to you or to the coach. Yes, Uncle K. Is he supposed to submit it?
Yeah. So next week in our next session, we're going to talk about that second part of the goal setting conversation. And so we'll now determine whether we want them to submit that. But I had mentioned to them that I would like to get some kind of summary of what it is they are setting as goals, because that also helps me in terms of some kind of follow-up. So yes, we're going to ask them at some point to submit what it is they have written down.
Oh, my network is hanging.
All right. So, okay, sorry. Yeah, but basically we're going to ask them at some point to share with us their goals. So there'll be more information on that in the next session, which is this Saturday. So, and we'll get that also back to you, parents.
Okay. Yeah, and again, thank you. I took part in doing the crown. Honestly, I enjoyed it. I didn't know it could be this therapeutic for me as an adult, cutting papers and, watching that. Thank you. I mean, I really found it quite refreshing.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Madam Chioma. All right, Mr. Joshua's hand is up. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for these. Exciting. I'm happy to see the agenda. I'm interested. It's just it's a very fluid moment, so I might miss this first cohort for 2025. But if I remember correctly, I saw like the timeline for the second cohort. I don't know if it coincides with the August travel thing you just shared, or if it's going to. How does that happen? Like, how does it work with them?
Yes. So our plan is to have 2 semesters every year. The first semester will be usually January to June, so that they can write exams in July. So we'll stop everything by June. Then August will start again, sometime towards the end of August up until November, because again, December is holidays, exams. So that's basically how we would run. So parents are at liberty to decide which semester works best for them. A couple of parents have reached me to say, can we do something for their boarders, maybe during the Easter or so. So I'm going to think around it a bit to see if we can do something for boarders. If it works, I'll communicate it. It may be something more accelerated, maybe just do something every day for 5 days so that they just go through. It's because a couple of people have really reached me about their boys are embodying their boy. One woman called me from Lagos. Kingsley, this is not fair. This is not fair. This is not fair. Why are you doing this? Why is it not doing holiday? I'm like, oh my God. So I said, don't worry, ma. We'll work around that. So you can explore which one works for you. If we do something during the Easter, we'll share it. And if he's able to join, fine. If not, the second semester, sometime end of August, yeah, they can be a part of that. All right. I hope that answers. So thank you, Mr. Joshua. And then we have JJ Jerome. Your hand is up. So yes, the floor is yours now.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Uncle K. Yes. You are doing well. You are doing very well, seriously. And we appreciate what you've started in the lives of our kids.
Thank you.
And particularly myself, I think I will subject myself to your learning school so that I can be better than I am as a parent.
Thank you.
So I give it to you. Yeah. And I don't know, how often do we have these sessions as parents? Is it possible that maybe once in a while, aside what we do for the kids in also trying to guide them, can we have sessions like this that would maybe bring us to the same pace with the kids? Because most of the times that you will be having the kids, maybe Saturdays, will likely not be around because of work and all. So if we can create maybe make some sacrifices, maybe once a while, have this kind of sessions, I think it will bring all parents in the same speed and light with the kids.
Yeah.
So this is just an observation. I don't know if that can be granted.
Yes. Yeah. Your observation is actually in line. It's part of what we're planning. So we're planning to, so we're trying to work out some kind of schedule to say, okay, can we do something with parents once every 2 months? Just, providing support to parents, having an interactive session where we discuss different things about parenting, raising boys, share experiences, share perspectives. Sometimes we'll bring special guests to come talk to us and all of that. So we're planning something around that. And that's why I wanted to start this parents forum, because once we can start the parents forum, then and then I have this small advisory group, then we can work with the advisory group to plan this, so that when we're planning it, we let parents know. And in my mind, it's something I want to be open to even parents beyond this immediate community. We'll just come and have conversations, because parents need a lot of support. Parents need a lot of help, and they also need a lot of insights. I'm dealing with parents regularly in church, and sometimes it's so shocking how much parents are not aware, how much is going on right under their spaces. Let me just share one example. One day we did a forum in church, and we talked about sex education. And then, so in the bigger church, the pastor now asked me to just say why we're going to be doing that forum and why we're going to be talking about sex education and all of that. And after that meeting, a parent walked up to me and was unhappy with me for talking about sex education, that we're exposing the kids to things that they are not aware of. So she has 2 kids, a girl that was 14 and a boy that was 11. So, and I said, but Ma, well, this session is for the parents, so that there are things you may not be aware of. So we want to just do this session, bring in experts, use data. I work with data because of my background in development work. It's data, blah, 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 blah. So, however, she just went, I don't know what happened. On her own, she just decided to go and check her boy's phone. And she broke down because her 11-year-old boy has been on porn sites for at least a year based on the history on his phone. And she called him and asked him, do you know anything about pornography, anything? He said, yeah, what does that mean? She played him, right? And then, but I think God just wanted her to. So she went and checked. She called me. I didn't know. She called me on the phone. She said, she was panting on the phone. I need to see you. I need to see you. So she called me on a weekday. What is it? I said, can we meet in church on Sunday? All right. No, she said, can we see before Sunday? I'm like, Eventually, she came with the boy. She said, this boy has been on porn sites for the past 1 year based on his phone history. 11-year-old. So she apologized and said, so there's quite a lot going on, and then we can really want to work with parents. So yes, there's going to be periodic meetings. I'm looking at once every 2 months, so that, because I know parents have so much they're doing. So if we plan it well, once every 2 months, and notify parents enough time, pick a Sunday evening, be online, and just have conversations, put some things on the table. It will be helpful, and then parents also will speak to us from their own experiences. So yes, Mr. Jerome, we're going to do that, starting from this, now that we've started the Parents Forum. Okay. All right. So yes, Mr. Joseph's hand is up again. Okay, yes, go ahead, please.
Oh, sorry, just on the Parents Forum, is that for kids is that for parents whose kids are in an active session, or is that open to everyone?
All right. So yes, like I said in my conversation, we will drive it from the Boys to Kings community, but we'll always ask for every other parent to join us, and we ask parents to invite their other colleagues, because whether your boy is in the Boys to Kings mentoring program or not, the knowledge and the value will be helpful. We are not discriminating against parents who are not on our platform. It's not a paid forum. It's just, we just want to share knowledge. As many more parents that can understand some of the things we know is great for us. So, and whenever we're going to have our Parents Forum, we will make as much noise as possible, share the flyers and all of that, and ask parents to invite as many parents as possible. So, but anyone that is in our database from 2024 to 2025 that have completed our form or anything, we will always send out the invitation to them to be a part of it. So yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right, so I'm hoping we could be done in another 2-3 minutes, so that daddy and mommies can go and prepare for a busy week ahead. Hoping that hoping that we won't hear another news update from President of America or something. It's been very interesting time for people that work in development space. So my number is in the group. Anyone who wants to reach out to me, feel free to reach out to me. And let me just mention, excuse me. A couple of people reached out to me in the last 48 hours that they heard about the program from their sons' friends who were in the program. So we'll just extend registration. If you know any friends, you can still talk to them. They can sign up. So we've done just one session, so they can watch a replay. But after this Saturday, we won't be able to take in any other one for this semester. So please help us share information. We want to get as many boys as possible to be a part of this, right? And that's me. Just a little bit about myself and all of that. For those who want to reach us, that's our contact details. We have an email, boys@boystokings.org. That's our WhatsApp number. That's our website. Like I said, we're evolving, we're growing. We're hoping that in years to come, we'll look back and see that this has become something pretty big beyond myself. And we'll have a lot of people playing very active roles, possibly setting up, chapters and different things in different places. So, but we're happy to start small and just be growing small. I'm looking forward to meeting those boys in years to come, and they will say that this program shaped them in addition to what daddy and mom is doing. In closing, I want to one more time appeal to daddies. The boys need you more than you are available. Some fathers are doing pretty well, and we thumbs up to you, but for some, the boys need you more. and for mothers that are here, for single mothers too, we celebrate you, we salute you. We know it's crazy. Just know that I'm here. I can be available as much as I can. And if there are other male figures around, let's expose them to the boys. Make sure that there is that father figure who can speak to the boy with just this stare from just, a look from their eyes can communicate what 1,000 words, would communicate. But we're here to serve. And please give us feedback. We're learning. Give us feedback on any part of our work. We are very, very open and receptive to feedback. Don't always tell us commendable things. Tell us when we're not getting it. We're okay with it. We're fine with it. Those who are in development space, we are used to receiving feedback, and we just want to get better. All right.
Could you go back to the profile page? Yeah, that like just before this one. Okay.
All right. So that's just a little bit about myself. So I've been in development space now for a couple of years now, maybe 2-3 decades. I started my first organization when I was 21, called Young Stars Foundation. And that's what won me all kinds of fellowship, Ashoka Fellowship, World Economic Forum, YGL, US Embassy Exchange, and all of that. And most of the program I said I was taking young people around different parts of the world, it was under Youngsters. Then 2019, my wife and I started what they call the 100 Naira Day School for children from poorest households. So I thought I was just going to help her for a year, but I'm now sucked into that project, and it has affected youngsters somehow, but I think it's okay. So we're running a school for poor kids. It's called the 100 Naira School. They pay 100 Naira to come to school every day, and they get books, uniform, lunch, sanitary pads, and computer-based learning. We have 170 of them, and I'm seeing that it's a big deal. Education is everything. So, right. So that's me. My life is young people, so I don't know how to do any other thing. In this lifetime, it's young people. Any other thing will be complementary. And I love volunteering, I love service. So, but I'm also big on innovation. I like innovation and invention and big ideas. So if I can be of assistance to you in any way, let me know. Even if it's just to share thoughts, listen to your ideas and all of that. I do a bit of consulting. So yes, I do a bit of consulting and a bit of public speaking, do a bit of training. This week I have sets of trainings in different places and all of that. So if you think I can be of service in any way, let me know. All right. Thank you. Quite interesting. Looking forward to continuing the engagement. My WhatsApp number is there. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. And then for whatever conversation it is, I'm happy to continue to engage. I want to say thank you to you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to every parent that was here tonight. I'm really impressed by the number. It's a big deal to have this number of parents start and stay until this time. So I'm going to take a picture now. We don't need to ask people to put on their camera, but if you can, it's all right. So yes, I'm going to be sharing this. I'm going to be sharing this replay. So I'll put it on YouTube, and then anyone who wants to go watch can go watch. And if you have friends you want to share this with, it's very okay for them to just understand more what we're doing. So one more time, thank you, everyone. It's been a great evening, and I wish you a great week ahead. Thank you. Bye, and have a blessed week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice week ahead.
Thank you, and great week ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Easley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.